Hi everybody, this is Ellie. Thanks so much for joining me today for a flip through of my journal for the month of April. My journal is a Hobonichi A6 Avec and I keep it in this flower lace cover by Hobonichi. I posted a couple of other videos about this journal. The first was a journal chat where I discussed the struggles that I've been having with journaling and how a lot of these beginning pages are empty. And I talked about using journaling prompts for the first time as a way to hopefully get into my journal every day. My friend Tara at Take Heart Tara and I decided that we would each do these prompts as much or as little as we could. And it's been really nice to have somebody to chat about it with and just to feel a little bit accountable to or inspired by. I also have a video where I actually journaled some of these pages on camera, so I'll link that above as well. This will be a little bit of a chatty video just as I talk about some of the questions and some of the things that I used and the way that I journal. So the prompts came from Claudia at White Sugar Designs. She posts them on her Instagram and she also has a printable version right on her blog, so I just printed it, I don't remember the percentage, but a small enough size so that I could just cut it out and glue it in right on the blank page that is at the beginning of every month. And I didn't start this until the 6th. So instead of going back and answering these questions, I figured I could just put in some quotes or anything meaningful to me at the time. So this has some watercolor. And the quote says, "Acceptance makes an incredible fertile soil for the seeds of change." And that's by Steve Maraboli. And I did my best to sketch a little sprout. And this is a very popular Mr. Rogers quote. "When I was a boy and I would see scary things in the news, my mother would say to me, 'Look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping.'" And it's a beautiful quote, and it also gives me a chance to practice different hand lettering styles, which was a lot of fun. I used a Zebra Sarasa vintage color for this, and that's probably the set of pens that I used the most this whole month was the Zebra Sarasa colors. I love how they write, and I just love the colors that they come in. In here, I included a sticker from the latest Kate that reads, "It's okay to be scared. It's okay to be uncomfortable. You will succeed in spite of those feelings." You'll see here I crossed out succeed and put try because success means different things to different people, and for me the effort is more important than the outcome. I got to use a washi sticker from a pack that I got from Fairy Milk Bar, and I just hand lettered Bloom, a beautiful process of becoming. And this is from a Michael sticker book that says, "Believe in good things to come." So I watercolored these pages and did all these quotes at the end of the month, and I really enjoyed it. For these questions, I actually wrote them to put in every page so that when I was reading it, I had the context. What hopes do I have for the world? What are my fears right now? Use different washis and stamps. These are the Ali Brown Alpha stamps. I did adjust some of the questions the same way that I adjusted that quote. What's one mental exercise I can learn to help me stay positive? I just wrote balanced instead because that's more helpful for me. And I drew a scale, used some Simply Gilded washi, and I also had a little seesaw sticker that I put here because I thought it was perfect for balancing. 2 things that are positive about staying home. This is a sticker too that came in a set from Fairy Milk Bar. And 2 things are spending time with my family and time with my stuff, to use it, to appreciate it, to part with it. So yeah, it's been a luxury to have the time to kind of sort through some things. And I'll be honest, I haven't been doing a whole lot of decluttering or anything, just kind of as it comes up organically. And that's enough. I do really appreciate having the time to do that though. Self-care is most important right now. 2 self-care things I've been doing for myself. I've been doing self-compassion meditations by Dr. Kristin Neff. She has a self-compassion meditation break, actually, that's 5 minutes. That's the only one I've been doing because the other ones are much longer, but I do hope to work up to those eventually. How can I help my friends stay more optimistic? Or how can I connect with and support my friends. What do I think my future holds? I use this beautiful hummingbird washi from Simply Gilded. What do I miss the most before self-quarantine? I made a list for this one with some different hand lettering. I miss visiting friends and families. I miss running errands, going to restaurants, going shopping. I miss just kind of the lack of fear when going out. I miss working, and I miss watching sports on TV. So we kind of always had that on in the background, and I really like baseball, so I really have missed the season starting. But safety comes first, and they've been playing tons of old vintage coverage or even just a couple of years past, so there's still always sports on. Where have I found positivity and support? I thought that was a really lovely question because I found it everywhere in a lot of places. So I listed some of my personal ones here, and here I listed some of the Instagram accounts that I follow that really talk about mental health or self-care in a way that resonates with me. So I like having that list. How am I responding to the new normal or the current state of the world? I wrote a quote here that I had found that says, "To live a normal life, you just have to believe nothing is normal." And I'm not sure I'll be able to pronounce that name, but I'll just hold it up there for you. It says M.F. Moonzager. And this is also some Allie Brown tape. These are the pages that I journaled on camera. What is the one thing I am looking forward to when the quarantine is over? I wrote out an Emily Dickinson poem titled "I Dwell in Possibility." And who do I turn to for support when I am feeling down? How have I been able to save on resources? What things am I in control of when in quarantine? This one, I printed out this art that I found on Instagram, and it says the clip art is by CarrieStephensArt, and it just has a circle of the things that I can control, surrounded by the things that I cannot control. So I can control my attitude, turning off the news, finding things to do at home, etc. I cannot control the actions of others, predicting what will happen, and so forth. I also included on this page just a couple of quotes by Michael Singer, both of them. The truth is that most of life will unfold in accordance with forces far outside your control, regardless of what your mind says about it. And the truth is, everything will be okay as soon as you are okay with everything. And that's the only time everything will be okay. Those quotes help me maintain perspective and just remember that, yeah, there are many, many things in life that are beyond our control. And for me, I like to control as much as I can. I think that's one of the reasons I'm drawn to planning. I like to plan ahead. I think about what might happen, and that's something I work on because it's just not realistic, and if I get too deep into that, it's way too stressful to sustain. So this whole page is a really helpful reminder for me personally. What am I doing to stay healthy? I just drew my not very proportional Venn diagram there. So mental, emotional, and physical health. I'm just trying to maintain the balance. What lessons have I learned from life as it is right now? I have a couple of different washis from Callaby Crafts. So lessons like live in the present moment, be thankful for time with my loved ones. I don't need as much stuff as I thought. I need alone time to recharge. What have I been doing to keep myself entertained lately? You'll see planning and journaling is right at the top of that list. Making videos, cleaning and decluttering, watching TV and movies, walking and exercise, reading, practicing watercolor, spending time with Paul and my family, chatting with loved ones. How can I replenish my positive energy? Just kind of arrowed right over to this list here. And again, I just crossed out positive because I want a balance. It's okay for me to feel things that in that context might be labeled negative, as long as I'm not kind of drowning in those thoughts or blowing them out of proportion or anything. Like those thoughts, I think, are natural in a time like this. And for me, I am trying to allow myself to have them and to move through them. What have I been most upset about during this time of quarantine? How can I tell myself not to dwell on the negative stuff? How can I tell myself not to dwell and let go? That's what I'm focusing on, is letting it move through me. Just wrote some notes on radical acceptance, acknowledging reality as it is, recognizing that this is a process, acknowledging uncertainty, the potential reality that bad things do happen, discomfort, my word of the year, and so forth. I have a little Eeyore sticker here from TheCoffeeMonsterzCo. When I think about kind of dwelling and, being down or seeing things that I might find challenging, I find that a perfect little emoji representation. 5 things I am grateful for today. Some more Simply Gilded washi. Make a list of happy thoughts. I got to use this washi tape with kind of the check boxes. Went yellow and black here. Make a list of the highlights of my day. I had some washi tapes that I picked up from Hobonichi a couple of years ago that I was able to use. Make a list of things to do when I am bored. Again, journal and plan right at the top of the list. Read, podcast, and color. Watch something, go for a walk, connect with someone, clean, watercolor, meditate, yoga, and exercise. If you guys have anything else that you do when you're bored, I'd love to hear it. I cut out some of the individual butterflies here, and I really like the look of that. And finally, I really adjusted this one. So list 5 things that can distract you and pull you from, what did it say? List 5 things that can distract you and pull you from negative thoughts. So I ended up writing list 5 things that you can do when you have negative thoughts. So observe them without judgment, counter the thoughts with facts that pass my own BS meter, meditate using Headspace or Kristin Neff, who does the self-compassion exercises I mentioned, talk to a trusted loved one, or distraction, so journal, walk, TV, etc. I'm really happy with having these strategies laid out. And this is different for everybody, of course. I know some of my loved ones don't find any comfort in sitting with their negative thoughts, so their coping routines look much different than mine. And I mean, I'm sure all of our coping routines are totally different, and it just depends on our own experiences and our own needs. And I'm just sharing a little bit of what works for me. So another Ali Brown tape, some Simply Gilded, and all of these boxes I think are mostly from sticker books from Michaels. This is Diane Reedley from Michaels as well. So I loved doing this month. I thought it turned out really well, and I just enjoy flipping through the pages. That being said, today is May 7th, and I didn't set up anything for May. I wasn't sure if I would be going through and just trying to journal without prompts, or if I wanted to use more of Claudia's prompt lists or somebody else's. And I didn't prepare anything, and I haven't written anything. So I think that's showing me right now that if I do want to be in this journal, I think prompts are one of the best ways to get me in there consistently. And maybe I also just needed a break, and that's fine too. I do think though that I will see what other prompts I can find, and again, just start whenever I start within the month and see how it turns out. I'd love to know how your journaling has been going over the past month, if it's changed at all, if it's stayed consistent or gotten more frequent or less frequent. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.